Hello, hello, and welcome in for some more Crimson Diamond. I hope that you are doing well and taking care. October's going okay. It has been a busy couple bits of October, but yeah. Let's go ahead and jump back in. I believe he said that dinner is ready. Head on into the dining room, you hear? I'm serving up dinner soon, yeah. Which I believe I know. I'm trying to get through here. I believe the dining room's down here. My goodness, what a lot of company we have tonight. Humph, this is giving me indigestion. This food is giving me indigestion. You're welcome to leave. In fact, please do. Heh, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Well, he seems very grumpy, but so does she. I'm not going anywhere until we find out if that diamond came from this land. And if it did, then you better believe I'm getting my share. That's what you think. Yes, that's what we think. That's what I'm here to ensure. Hey, you, how long is that going to take? I will begin my field work tomorrow morning. Crimson used to be a garnet mining town, yes? Yeah, but forget about visiting the mines. They blasted the mine entrances shut years ago when they closed it down. Unless the fish had a pickaxe, broke into the mine, swallowed a diamond, then dove back into the river? I see. I've never even been there. Couldn't tell you where it is. Mr. Richards gets a sour look on his face and digs back into his meal. He looks like he is done with this conversation. Margot, what a lovely necklace you're wearing. Thank you, mademoiselle. Monsieur Richards, he gave it to me. I am very fond of it. A cheap trinket, misshapen paste gem in a cheap setting. It's a white garnet, not glass. My Evan, he found it here in Crimson, didn't you? Never mind, Margot. No one wants to hear about that. My sapphire brooch. Now this is a real piece of jewelry. Bought it myself. Well, I think they're both quite nice. Nathan, I read in the newspaper that most of the land up here was once parceled out to settlers. Is that how this plot became property of Mr. Richards' father? About 50 years ago, this land was annexed by the government. Various treaties were signed in exchange for preservation of our hunting and fishing rights and financial compensation. The promises described in those treaties were not honored, by the way. Settlers came, mines were dug, and Crimson was prosperous for a time. But eventually the mines were exhausted. Most settlers abandoned their homesteads, and Crimson became a ghost town. Only Mr. Richards and his family remained. Yeah, we liked the peace and quiet. We liked it? I always hated it here. I sure do miss peace and quiet. Nessa and Corvus are the first to excuse themselves from the table. They head to the bar for a nightcap. Albert follows them for a snifter or brandy and one of his cigars. Jack clears away the dishes and goes to the kitchen to wash up. After eating a minuscule portion of supper, Margot heads upstairs to draw a bath. Kimmy heads upstairs to get ready for bed. Nathan and Evan remain at the table, lingering over their desserts. The candles have burned down a fair bit over the course of the evening, leaving small puddles of wax solidifying on the tablecloth. Well, that was a lovely meal. Yeah, Jack does a good job. Usually I wait for Jack to come clear the dishes so's I can put off getting up. Looks like he's taking longer than usual to clear up, what with all the extra guests. I feel a little responsible for Jack's extra workload. Maybe I ought to give him a hand. He'd appreciate that. About time someone made themselves useful around here. Wow. I can't get it. Stand up. There. You stand up. Let's save. That was a happy dinner there. They seemed very, very excited to have us there. Okie dokie. So, he's busy, right? Can I go in here? Yes. Open wardrobe. Open. I can type. Drawer. You open the drawer. Open drawer. Oh, they're locked. Okay, what about these? Those locked too? Okay. You open the drawer. Cool. He was in there earlier and I couldn't do that. So now everything has been opened. Map. Open door. Hide? Yeah. You stealthily slip behind the tapestry. No one will notice my feet. Look, I don't know what else to tell you. My father and your father had an agreement. This doesn't change anything. But what if they find diamonds? What happens to the agreement then? No one's found any diamonds here. Nothing changes. We'll see what we can do about the nosy Belgian. And Margot? How many times do we gotta go over this? She's my gal, all right? But a promise is a promise. When I'm gone, this land's going back to you and your family. Simple as that. We've been promised many things in the past. None of them came to pass. A promise is a promise. We'll see. What about your sister? Nessa? Yeah, that's a complication. I'll figure something out. Just don't do anything rash, got it? You the one that stabbed me in the shower? I'm deeply concerned. Yeah. Get on out of here, why don't you? I'll be seeing you, Evan. Uh-huh. Handshake. Ignore the feet. Yay! Okay, so we're doing good, I guess. Oops. Open door. I wasn't in here. Talk to Jack. Hello, Jack. Miss, I'm busy with these dishes. I can't talk right now. Help, Jack? You help Jack wash the dishes. Thanks, miss. Lots more dishes than usual. Happy to help. Now I gotta go see to Mrs. And Mr. Shaw in the bar. Have to make sure they don't drink us dry. And of course, I need to get Mr. Richards his hot toddy. He likes a soothing drink before bed. And I don't want to keep Margot waiting. Forget about that last one, won't you? I was about to say, didn't she? What? Hmm. That's a little creepy. Gosh, I can't type. Open cupboard. Opening everything. Open drawer. Open cupboard. Open cupboard. There. I think I've gone through everything. There. You take a drinking glass from the cupboard. Ah, a drinking glass. These are handy for all sorts of things. Like drinking out of them. I hear voices near this doorway. I wonder what they're talking about. Listen. Father's will has to be around here somewhere. Things would be so much easier if we could just find it. If the will can't be found, we might have to proceed as planned. Take our chances. That little gold digging hussy complicates things, but I'm dealing with her in my own way. We'll talk about that another time. Good night, Mr. Shaw. Good night, madam. Bye, I wasn't listening. I'm just stumbling around out here in the hallway. I hear voices near this doorway. Oops. Listen. You can hear muffled voices, but the speakers are too far from the door to hear them clearly. Perhaps you could listen at the door with an item? I can't figure out what to use. Maybe someone else would know? Listen with glass. With the help of the drinking glass, you can hear a conversation behind the door. Let's have a look. Oh, monsieur, you're wonderfully helpful. I cannot thank you enough. I do what I can. Mon Dieu. Sorry about that, but you know we gotta go slow. The pamphlet says so, right? It does. More's the pity. But I think it's working. You hear some muffled cries. Shh, you gotta keep it down, especially tonight. So many ears around. You are right, of course. This must remain our little secret. The voices go silent for a while. All right, I think we're done here. I gotta skedaddle before Mr. Richard finishes his drink and comes to bed. Of course, of course. Merci, Jack. Your days and nights are so very long. You got that right, and I'm not done yet. Having all these folks in the lodge, I gotta work that much harder. I'm sure they will be gone soon. Everything will be back to normal. I hope so. On you, Jack. Good night. You hear footsteps coming towards the door. Thinking quickly, you duck behind the big blue chest. Yeah, 'cause that will. Well done. After waiting a few minutes, Margot leaves her and heads downstairs. You manage to sneak across the hall to your bedroom. What a long and intriguing night this has been. Excellent job. Kudos on your thorough investigative technique. Phew, I'm exhausted. What an interesting place this is. It's too bad Kimmy and I have to leave on the train tomorrow. Later that night. Oh! I don't think we're going anywhere. Chapter 2, Excursions. Okay, Nancy, I'm all ready. Let's go. I wish we could stay here longer. It's such an interesting old place and such intriguing folks. I know what you mean. I can see that you need a minute. I'll meet you at the front door. Thanks, Kimmy. What a peculiar place. Game autosave. That said, I'm going to save as well. Let's go check on Margot. Is she in here again? What are you doing, lady? How are you doing today, Margot? I'm feeling a bit under the weather today, mademoiselle. My body aches a little and I'm coming down with something, perhaps? I hope you're feeling better soon. Merci. Ask Margot about aches. My joints ache from time to time. It's gotten worse lately. It is probably allergies, yes? Ask Margot about allergies? I'm afraid I do not know what my allergies might be. Whatever it is has gotten particularly bad in the past week or so. I do not like garlic, so Jack doesn't serve it to me, but that isn't an allergy, merely a preference. My Evan, he is deathly allergic to nuts, he tells me. That frightens me. Whatever would we do if he accidentally ate some up here in Crimson? There'd be no helping him. Even as a small boy, he had this allergy. I am so grateful his parents kept him safe and healthy. And yet, Nessa brings those Jordan almonds into our home. It's an evil act, isn't it? Right. Huh. Ask Margot about almonds. I prefer cakes and cookies to confectionery, but not too much. We must stay trim, yes? Sure. But of course, after dinner, Jack and I might bake a batch of cookies. My Evan loves cookies. Thumbprint cookies are mon cher's favorites, but we can't coat them with nuts. He is allergic. Ever since he was a boy, it is a pity because I love nuts, but I don't mind foregoing them to keep him safe. Yet his own sister would bring almonds into his home. We don't get to choose our families, do we? All right. Map. Open door. Hello. Oh, bye. I hear voices near this doorway. I wonder what they're talking about. You hear muffled voices coming from Nessa's room. Listen with glass. With the help of the drinking glass, you can hear a conversation behind Nessa's bedroom door. Evan spends most of his time in the study. It's almost impossible for me to look for the will. I'm sure it will be in there, if it exists at all, of course. Evan is such a lazy good-for-nothing. Odds are he never wrote one. And he won't get to it. I think Evan will have his hands full soon enough. Then I'll get a chance to search the study. Indeed, and I will get started on Plan B. Nessa and Corvus seem to have finished their conversation. Listen? Listen with glass. Because I get the feeling that maybe your government doesn't want diamonds to be found in Canada. Market competition, eh? So why don't you just get on the train back to Toronto this morning, enjoy the city, and write your report from the comfort of a ritzy hotel? My treat, what do you say? Mr. Richards, I'm appalled at your suggestion. Your man Jack will bring me back to the lodge, else you can expect a visit from the authorities. Fine, but I doubt your bosses will care if your visit is less than hospitable. I got my eye on you, Albert. You hear heavy footsteps coming towards you. Thinking quickly, you hurry back to your room as quietly as you can. Phew, that was a close one. I think they've gone downstairs by now. Huh. Ooh, that door's open. I didn't open it. Or it's just open from last night, I guess. Ah, Nancy, are you ready to go now? Yes, I think so. You and Kimmy follow the dirt path to the carriage house. You find yourself falling behind as you marvel at your surroundings, the first time you're seeing the grounds of the lodge in daylight. You're surrounded by greens of every shade. The trees are taller than most buildings back home. They stand densely in countless numbers as far as your eye can see, swaying slightly in the breeze. As you near the carriage house, you can hear the distant roar of a waterfall. The land feels alive. There you are. Come on now. We gotta make this train. Oh, right. Let's go. Jack drives you and Kimmy back to the train station. The car ride seems a lot shorter this time, maybe because you can see your surroundings. Wait here. I'm going to check the telegraph machine at the station. You wait in silence. Early morning in the deserted town is so quiet. It nearly makes your ears ring. Did you just hear Jack gasp? Jack's taking quite a long time in there. I'm going to check on him. Whoa, hey, I told you to wait outside. Jack looks agitated. He stuffs a strip of telegraph paper into his pocket. What's wrong, Jack? We're going back to the lodge. Bridge is out. Don't know how long. Oh, dear. Oh, by the way, any of you folk know someone called Carl? No? Never mind. Why do you ask, Jack? Telegraph in the station for him. It was printed off on the machine after my message, so I cut it and pinned it to the board inside. That's how messages get passed on to people in this area. It's a decent system. Well, I'm going to send a message to my superiors. Wait here. What happened to the bridge, Jack? An accident. The train can't get to Crimson. Looks like we're stuck with you for now. Jack looks over at Kimmy. Looks like you've got your wish, eh? But like I said before, leave Mormorants alone. Kimmy flushes, but keeps quiet. You stand in tense, awkward silence until Albert reappears in the train station's doorway. I'm ready, let's be off. The journey back to the lodge is so rushed and bumpy, there are times where you're afraid you'll bounce right out of the automobile. It's far too noisy to even attempt conversation. Albert leans back in his seat, impassive. Kimmy, whom you've come to believe was a kind and quiet sort, looks pretty nervous, and maybe even a little angry. Jack is mostly silent, white-knuckled hands wrapped around the steering wheel. You realize you don't really know any of these people. I can't let myself be distracted. I have a job to do. When I get back to the lodge, I'm going to start my field work. It's been a long morning. I'm going to put the kettle to boil if any of you want some tea. You hear Jack mutter something under his breath about needing to see Evan. After I fetch my field kit and change into my field clothes, I'll be commencing my field work. Please do not disturb me. I'm going out to get a breath of fresh air and to look at birds. Well, I guess I have my work cut out for me. I still wonder what happened with my kit on the train. Well, I certainly can't dwell on that. To obtain samples, I need a few basic tools. A geologist's pick or something similarly sharp and strong. A hammer that, when used with the pick, will help me chip off samples of rock. A small shovel to dig into the riverbed. And a streak plate to test the hardness of the minerals I find. Something made of porcelain would do the trick. Game has autosaved. I think Jack mentioned that the birds like to nest on the cliff faces. That might be a good place to get a sample. I should also check on Albert's fieldwork. Maybe I can learn a few things. Oh, I hope I can finally do a bit of digging. Literally. Right. A bit of porcelain. I'm trying. There. Take plates. The floral plates are out of your reach, a common problem for someone your height. I don't really want one of those plates anyway. Oh, look in cabinet. Is there one in here? The top cupboard has a variety of plates inside. The cupboard under the sink contains the pipe that drains the sink. Take plate. You take a plate from the cupboard. I think this plate is porcelain. Maybe I can use it as a streak plate. I should take a look at it and see. Look at plate. Now that I think of it, the unglazed underside of this porcelain plate would make a great streak plate. Streak plates are used for ascertaining a mineral's streak color, but many minerals harder than 6.5 or 7 won't make a streak. I can rub samples on the plate to see their color. Your streak plate has a Mohs hardness of 6.5. I used to have to do that in my geology classes. That's pretty cool. Where's Jack? He was putting the kettle on to boil and then he just disappeared. Take kettle? You take the kettle, but you resolve not to leave the kitchen with it. You can't imagine someone just walking away with your kettle. Well, okay. Open icebox. You open it. The ice block has melted a bit. There's now a puddle on the floor. Oh dear, I guess the ice box is a bit leaky. Look at ice. The ice block has melted a bit, rendering it a bit more transparent. There seems to be something frozen inside. Interesting. Pour a kettle on ice. You eagerly pour some hot water onto the ice block. Aha! Some of the ice has melted away, revealing a wooden handle. Take handle? After a few tugs, you're able to pull the wooden handle out of the ice block. The rest of the tool is pointy and made of metal. Hooray! It looks like I found an ice pick. Jack must have left the ice pick on top of the ice block, and when the ice melted and refroze, it gradually got swallowed up. Return kettle. There. I was never here. You open the door leading out of the kitchen. Oh, it's so lovely out here. You've never seen such a sight. The lush green land spreads out in all directions, rambling up and down in gentle hills. You can hear a swift river nearby and bird calls. The air smells fresh and new. I want to go to Canada. That sounds awesome. Look. There's a garden shed here, as well as a well-tended vegetable patch and a water pump. Bird amenities include a bird bath, bird feeder, and a birdhouse. North is an impassable wall of dense forest and bush. East is an impassable wall of dense forest and bush. When you look west, you can see the lodge. When you look south, you can see the orchard. I'm just going to walk all over your garden. You open the door to the garden shed. Look in shed. Unfortunately, that doesn't accomplish anything. Look. The interior of the shed is clean and well organized. There is a table and a stool. A shelf at the back holds various garden tending tools. A length of rope hangs from a nail on the wall. Take rope. You take the rope. Yay. Look at tools. The garden trowel is hanging by a nail that is nailed it into the wall. Take trowel. Terrific. Now I can dig the riverbank for specimens. Nice. Look again. Well organized. There's a table and a stool, a shelf at the back, various. Okay. Look at tools. You don't see a trowel right now. Okay. Look on shelf. The shelves contain all sorts of garden related miscellany. Plant food, pesticides, herbicides, seeds, pots, a spray bottle, watering can, and a lantern. Nothing particularly useful. Look on table. You pick up the box of flypaper. Cool. Open door. Do. Map. I hear voices near this doorway. I wonder what they're talking about. We are going to drop some more eaves. Listen with glass. I'm just going to assume. With the help of the drinking glass, you can hear a conversation behind the study door. So it's a problem. Could things get any worse? Who could have done it? Who would be capable? Don't know. Burn the tape. Tell no one. Keep an eye out. You got it. You wait a little longer, anxious for more details, straining to hear more of the conversations. You're going to get caught. Move away from the door. What could have Jack learned from the telegraph tape? You were so deep in thought that you failed to hear the footsteps approaching the door. Ah, Nancy. Hey, what do you think you're doing loitering outside doorways? Get. Eek. Sorry. Oh my God, Nancy. Oh, he's not even in here anymore. This is Evan Richards. Yeah. There's a display cabinet. A door. Yep. Look in fireplace. Sorry, you can't do that. Look at fireplace. The fireplace legs and header are carved with simple linear flourishes. You imagine it provides invaluable heat during the long winter months. You see a length of telegraph tape smoldering. Take tape. You carefully pick up the telegraph tape. Most of the telegraph tape has been consumed by fire, but you can barely make out some words. Bridge bomb sabotage awaits. Despite your careful handling of the tape, it crumbles into ash. Uh-oh. Open door. Look. The scenic overlook is spectacular. The lodge looms large to the north, but beyond it stretches a dense forest as far as the eye can see. To the west and east, you can see more forests to explore, and to the south is the bridge. Whoa. Look. There's a boathouse and a dock here. A canoe bobs up and down with the river current. Cattails line the riverbed. You can see a cliff looming to the west, forest to the north, and a bridge to the east. Dig? You dig up a lump of dirt out of the riverbank. You are surprised at how deep you have to dig before you find minerals of any kind. You take advantage of the handy-dandy river and wash the dirt away from your sample. Wonderful! Looks like I've obtained a good sample from the riverbank. I still need to collect 2 more samples from outside the lodge. A nice sturdy hammer is always welcome in a geologist's kit. I should try to find something that will do the trick. Uh, Door? Look. The interior of the boathouse smells damp, which is no surprise. Canoes and oars are stored here. You see a tackle box. Open tackle box. You open up the dusty, grimy tackle box. The tackle box is empty except for a hammer. Take hammer. You take the hammer. Here we go. Get out the door. There's a large wooden bridge here, which either leads south off the property or north towards the lodge. Cattails line the riverbed. You can see the boathouse to the west and a jetty to the east. I can't leave yet. I haven't accomplished my goals. Okay. There's a jetty here overlooking the rushing river. Cattails line the riverbed, and there's a rotting log lying on its side. A dirt path leads north into the forest, west leads to the bridge, and east to the waterfall. Look at log. The rotten log is well on its way to returning to the earth. It's covered in moss and is starting to cave in. Look in log. It looks like there's something there. The rotten log is full of moss and gross bugs and a little metal whistle. Take whistle. You take the duck call from the rotten log. Nice. Duck call. Ooh, I'd better be careful and not stray too close to the edge of the jetty. Am I gonna die? Whee! Wow. Nancy can't swim. You weren't ready for this, jetty. Heed warnings and stay away from dangerous bodies of water. Okay, let's not go into the water then. See what's over here. Oh, there's Kimmy. There's a steep cliff here with a rather scenic waterfall flowing from hidden. The cliff face hosts a thriving colony of what you assume are the double-crested cormorants. They clearly enjoy nesting here. You can see the boathouse east of here and the faintest indication of the carriage house to the north. Kimmy is here. Talk to Kimmy. Oh, hi, Nancy. I didn't see you there. She taking pictures? Take sample? Don't disturb the birds. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Use duck call. Use isn't used in this game. Other verbs are required. Blow duck whistle. You put the duck call to your lips and blow. A duck? Where? Oh. Bye. Take sample. You chip a sample out of the cliff using the ice pick and the hammer. Hooray! Looks like I've obtained a good cliff sample. I still need to collect one more sample from outside the lodge. Two samples down. Look at suitcase. Looks like Kimmy was so anxious to see the birds that she brought her suitcase with her to the cliff. Open suitcase. Kimmy could be back at any moment. What if she caught you going through her things? And it's probably locked besides. Yeah, well, I already got caught eavesdropping. I think all bets are off at this point. Oh, look. You've reached the western limit of the property. To the north, you can see the carriage house. The roar of the rushing water is to the south. East leads deeper into the woods. There is a huge boulder here. Albert is here. Where's Albert here? Talk to Albert. Good morning, Mr. Respa. How are you today? I'm very busy, miss. Maple. Miss Maple. I'm very busy, as you can see. The field work must be comprehensively performed. Well, maybe that boulder isn't a good place to start. It looks to be a glacial erratic end. Excuse me, young lady, are you trying to tell me my business? How amusing. Run along then, maybe you can help Jack in the kitchen. Oh, Albert, I knew I didn't like you. Yeah. Yeah. Ask about rock. Excuse me? I was curious about your professional interest in this glacial erratic. This rock is granite, which is a type of intrusive igneous rock, but not the appropriate type. Will you please leave me alone? Granite has a high quartz content, whereas diamonds are found in ultra basic rock that is low in quartz. What will make you stop? Furthermore, granite and diamonds don't even come from the same depth of earth. Listen, Miss Nancy Maple, Mr. Respa. Yes, Miss Maple. I have had just about enough of your help. I'm returning to the lodge to get out of the sun. I don't think he likes me very much. When I return to my work, you will not interrupt me. Do I make myself clear? Humph. Okay, Mr. Respa. I should take advantage of Albert's absence and study that fascinating boulder. Take field kit? Albert is quite peeved at me already. I shouldn't antagonize him any further. Maybe if I ask him nicely, he'll let me borrow his tools. Take sample. You chip a sample out of the rock using the ice pick and the hammer. It's essential to make my fieldwork comprehensive and include anything geologically interesting, even if it doesn't apply to my goals. Maybe one day someone will be conducting fieldwork on glacial erratics, in which case my observation would be vital. Oh, I should ask Albert about quickly borrowing a tool or two from his kit. The tools would help so much, and I'd put them right back. I should go and ask his permission. I have the boulder sample. I shouldn't delay Albert any further. I'll go have a word with him. Oops. Uh-oh. Where did Albert's kit go? Oops. Where's the kitchen? Here? Ask Albert or that. You are too curious. Ask Albert about field kit. Say, Mr. Respa, may I borrow a tool or two from your kit? I promise to put them right back once I'm done with them. Certainly not. I've had enough of a break. I'm returning back to work now. Albert abruptly turns on his heel and makes for the door. Albert is gone for a while. You're about to leave the kitchen when you hear his heavy footsteps once more. My field kit's gone. Did you do this, Jack? No, I surely didn't. Where is it? Mr. Richards will hear of this. Who knows? Could be a bear carried it off. You can't go leaving stuff outside unattended. I don't think Mr. Richards cares much about your problems. Why don't you just sit tight until the bridge is repaired? Then you can get out of here and never come back. My superiors will send me a replacement kit. Take me to the train station immediately. Can't. Car's broken. That's convenient. Darndest thing. I put it in the carriage house and a part broke right off. I haven't got a replacement. Nathan's got a car and spare parts, only he's not around, you know. So please, go make yourself a drink and enjoy some of our northern hospitality. Albert glares but says nothing. I've nearly finished my work for the day, but I really ought to rub the samples on my streak plate. Okay. Look at river sample. The visual inspection of the river sample helps you separate the rocks from the possible minerals. Rocks are a combination of more than one mineral, so it's easy for me to remove those from the sample by visual inspection. I've also removed the red stones from the sample, as those are clearly garnets and not the subject of this field work. You've winnowed down your river sample by eye. Well done. There, now I can analyze the sample using other methods. Nice. Can I just type it or just do this for the rest? At first glance, it's clear the cliff sample is igneous rock. This is consistent with what you'd expect for an area known for garnets. The cliff sample boasts a variety of fine specimens. It's pocked with red and white stone. My, I can see why this area was so good for garnet mining. You look at the glacial sample. You took it for granite, and indeed it is. Okay. Closely examining the river sample with a loupe, you can see that some of the specimens have tiny arcing scratches and a pitted frosted surface. Some of this is river glass, so I can eliminate those specimens from the sample. River glass and sea glass are bits of glass that has been tumbled with water and stones for years. It can sometimes look like minerals. Upon closer inspection, you can see that the cliff sample is coarse grained, leading you to conclude it is an intrusive igneous rock. Diamond is an intrusive igneous rock, meaning they formed below the Earth's surface where they had time to form into larger crystals. It's possible that this area could be geologically suitable for diamonds. Closely examining the glacial sample, you can definitively conclude that it is granite. This sample has a phaneritic texture. That means the crystals that make up this boulder can be seen by the naked eye. This particular specimen is composed mostly of quartz and some feldspar, which is typical. Nice. Okay. Rub river sample on plate. You rub the specimens from the river sample on the streak plate. One of the specimens produces a white streak. The streak plate probably has a Mohs hardness of about 6.5. So this specimen is softer than that. Since diamonds have a Mohs hardness of 10, I can conclude that this part of the specimen is not a diamond. The remaining specimens from the river sample don't make any streaks on the streak plate. When a specimen doesn't make a streak, this is sometimes called a colorless streak. The streak plate has a Mohs hardness of 6.5 to 7. That means the minerals in the specimen are harder than that. Garnets can have a hardness of up to 7.5, and diamonds have a Mohs hardness of 10, so they wouldn't make a streak. I wonder if Albert will let me borrow one of his Mohs hardness picks so I can test the remaining bits in my river sample. Doesn't sound like it. Wonderful. I'm satisfied with my field work and analysis for today. It's getting late, but I'm pleased with my work today. Your stomach rumbles. It's dinner time. Proceed to the dining room when you're ready to eat. But I didn't rub the other samples. Because the specimens are embedded into the cliff sample, it's a bit too awkward to rub against the streak plate. That's okay. It's still a nice sample and a good piece of field work. Rub sample plate on plate. You rub the sample from the glacial erratic onto the streak plate, but no streak is produced. This sample is granite, which has a Mohs hardness of 6, so I'm not surprised that it didn't make a streak on the plate. Let's save our game. We can delete this one and this one for now. Time for dinner. Wow, I've certainly worked up an appetite. Jack has prepared a delicious dinner of salted pork and buttered parsnips. Margot hasn't come down for dinner. Evan says she's not feeling well. Excellent job. Kudos on your thorough investigative technique. So, Albert, I hear your field kit has gone missing. Too bad. Albert narrows his eyes. Mr. Richards, you must realize this is merely a delay, nothing more. See, I don't know about that. There's a war on. Canada might have bigger fish to fry soon enough. I got a feeling all this could get forgotten about. Well, I won't have my possessions stolen. Surely the lodge has a way to secure valuables. Yeah, sure, there's 2 trunks in the upstairs closet. Jack's got the keys. I've only got a key for the blue trunk. You can lock your stuff in there. That will have to do, and if something goes missing, there will be no mistaking who's to blame. And what about the automobile? Has it been fixed yet? Jack and I have looked at the automobile. I don't have the part with me, but I will bring it the next time I visit. I suppose that will have to do. I don't care one way or the other. Humph. Everyone seems to be eager to escape the dinner table. Phew, these dinners are pretty tense. You follow Jack into the kitchen and help him with the dishes. Gee, thanks, miss. Oh, can you do me another favor? Take this bowl of broth up to Margot. She's still not feeling well. She's in her room. She says being surrounded by beautiful things makes her feel better. Sure, Jack. Okay, so I gotta go up to Margot's room. Listen. It's a myth that the cormorants hunt fish that are prized by fishermen. Unfortunately, the birds have been subject to many attempted exterminations. This colony suffered when Crimson was a garnet mining town, but it's recovered since. The nesting colony on the cliffs to the southwest of the lodge is the only intact example for many kilometers. I'm so relieved to hear that the colony survived. Nature is so resilient. It is, to a point. But should the government return and claim this land for its so-called precious stones, the entire nesting colony will be at risk. This cannot be allowed to happen. Oh dear. Nathan and Kimmy continue to chat about birds. You find yourself starting to nod off. Okay. I should probably go deliver this broth. Ooh, I can't get through the door. Door's fat shaming me. Talk to Margot. Are you feeling okay, Margot? Today, my body aches a bit. I've been feeling a bit under the weather recently. I will probably feel better tomorrow. Give broth to Margot. Margot, Jack made some broth for you. Oh, he is so wonderful. Please set it down on this table. Cool. Oh, it sounds like someone's coming. You are about to move from behind the screen when you hear footsteps in the master bedroom. Nessa, what do you want? Jack asked me to bring this water up to you. And I thought we could have a little chat besides. I don't know that he would ask that. I knew there was a catch. I know how hard it is for us women to make it in the world. Is that so? Indeed, especially for women who have lived particularly roughly, such as yourself. What do you mean? I have a very good memory for faces, and there's no mistaking one as pretty as yours. That bad bit of business up in Skagway? The Mounties never caught you, though, did they? Though they did try. There were wanted posters pasted up as far south as Niagara Falls. Break it off with Evan and leave Crimson, and maybe I won't tell. Ha! The things I've seen, the things I've done, you don't frighten me, old hag. You will get nothing, do you hear me? I will make sure of that. Skagway was lawless because people looked the other way. But up here, there is no one to see what could happen. Watch out. Hey, she spilled the broth. Nessa puts the drinking glass and pitcher down on the side table, deliberately knocking over the bowl of broth. Nessa then buffs the drinking glass clean with a white handkerchief. I figured as much. Silly little gold digger, you watch out. Wow. Yeah, Margot versus Nessa. It just saved. I don't know why I'm saving again. Saving again. Why not? Well, that is actually going to be it for me tonight. But thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. As always, I hope that if you enjoyed this video, you wouldn't mind dropping a like and subscribe. It always makes my day and it really helps out the channel a lot. I'm really enjoying this one. This has been awesome. I like these old style games. And yeah, I will catch you guys next time. And yeah, see you later. Bye.